This may come as a shock to some of you, but Kangaroo Jack is not a movie about a kangaroo named Jack.
And his name is Kangaroo Jack.
They advertised this movie to make it seem like it's one of those fun, talking animal movies, but it is emphatically not. Kangaroo Jack is about two horrible men, Michael and Lewis, going on a quest for death in the Australian outback. The studio saw this film and said,
"Hey, so this is boring, joyless garbage. Can we make this look like a movie that'll, I don't know, sell tickets? Can we get some money?"
So the executives went and did something really tricky.
Money!
And I'm gonna explain what that was, but first I'm just gonna summarize the movie, because that's what I always do in these videos. We begin with those two men when they were only boys on the beach. Young Jerry O'Connell has a yo-yo, and they talk about it, which was supposed to pay off later in the movie, but they cut that payoff scene, whatever it was, but for some reason they still kept the conversation in, because apparently it has some kind of independent merit. Jerry's life is changing. Christopher Walken is his new dad, Michael Shannon is his new brother, the child Lewis saves him and becomes his new god. And then time passes and he becomes Anthony Anderson, funny man from Transformers movie. Don't yell. So they get into a car chase and a dog is there and they jump down a chute that leads them straight to hell, but then they climb out and get scolded by Italian mobster Christopher Walken for their decidedly unchristian shenanigans. He sends them to Australia to deliver a package. On the plane you'll find the movie's first reshoot scene. You can tell because Jerry has this hairpiece on. Anthony offers him candy. Jerry selects the hot ball and he's excited about it too.
I think I'll have this one.
Good choice.
It is too hot for him. However, Anthony's mouth is powerful and can withstand the blasts of hell itself, as was established earlier in the film. Jerry, humiliated, excuses himself. He sees an attractive woman and has this completely normal human exchange.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Then they go through airport security and get a car, and then they do some of this.
Rolling in the land with the deep red sand, the big black man, the big black man. We're living in the land now.
Ooh, that transition. Ooh, so smooth. Musically, this movie has a lot to offer. Just listen to the theme song. Wait a minute. Oh no, no, no. Snoop Dogg stole from Kangaroo Jack!
That's terrible news!
So the kangaroo appears, they hit him with the car, and they name him Jackie Legs, which is his name through the whole movie.
Jackie Legs, Jackie Legs.
Jackie Legs. His name is Kangaroo Jack.
I've had enough of your lies. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Excuse me?
I didn't mean
Get
to.
out!
Oh,
Get
no!
out!
The kangaroo hops away with the money, and they give chase, and they crash, but they survive because of their unholy blood pact, which forbids them to die until their evil work is accomplished upon the earth, so they go to a town called Alice Springs. Meanwhile, the kangaroo eats a Twizzler, and we see it. It's a great setup for later on, you'll see. But in the meantime, remember. He has all of the candy in this pocket, and all of the money in the other one. Candy in the pocket. In the back, are you paying attention?
No.
Ooh, that makes me angry. Do not agitate me. I told you so many times, if you don't start taking this class seriously, I'm gonna put you in the punishment bottle and you're never getting out. Then our heroes take off in an incredible sky voyage with a gremlin they met and try to gun down a whole herd of kangaroos. Unfortunately, they crash and get chased down by a whole herd of dingaroos.
Why are they staring at me like that?
Because I'm a green leaf salad and you're the all-you-can-eat buffet.
Unfortunately, at this point in the film, you do have to step in and blow on your TV's microphone to generate a sandstorm and save them. Ordinarily, I just let them die, but I have to review the rest of the movie, so I just use this household noise fan to game the system. Michael Shannon arrives, and he is very handsome, and he's going around the outback threatening several men. He's trying to track down He's not a real Australian.
I'm out here in the back of pulling my can car up to my ears in heat stroke, waiting for you two Yanks.
Stuart, answer in the comments if this guy sounds real to you. How are you, buddy? I miss you. So I'm sure you've noticed by now the distinct lack of kangaroo talk. Probably you're just aching to hear his foul, unnatural speech. Good news. All of that happens in a dream sequence. Here is everything the funny talking kangaroo says before the movie ends.
Yeah, it's me. Love the jacket, Charlie.
Blood.
Hard to get something that fits my shoulders. Blood. How'd you know red was my favorite color? Blood. Nice. Blood.
More on that later. Right now, let's just get through this. So they're rescued. Actually, before I forget, Jerry O'Connell has a weird cameo in the movie Wish Upon, which some obscure YouTube channel recommended almost as strongly as they would The Room or Troll 2. Honestly, it's the most enjoyable bad movie I've seen in a long time. If you're looking for something to watch with your post-ironic group chat friends, it's a much surer bet than, say, this one, or this one, and definitely this one. In fact, don't ever watch those. Sin movies. So they're rescued by that lady from the plane. Actually, they met her a second time earlier in that town, but I forgot to mention that then, because whenever I try to put this movie into my mind, the knowledge dissipates like light being sucked into a black hole. Anyway, she happens to show up in the desert. Their destinies, it seems, are intertwined by some higher power. She takes them and leads them to Kangaroo Paradise, and it looks good. And then, because they must, they begin to fall in love. Now, I was told that this is a kid's movie, but that claim is highly suspect, as these and many other scenes give me real adult discomfort. Then they are trapped by Mr. Smith and his nasty band, and then Michael Shannon shows up. So they're all cornered, but then Jackie Legs...
It's the hot mall.
He goes into a blind fury and then jumps at the... He jumps around at everyone and distracts them, so they escape. To review, they added the scene on the plane where they set up the candy, then a scene where the kangaroo eats licorice, then another one where he messes with the yo-yo, so we can finally have this part where he jumps and is obviously not originally supposed to be part of the scene. They said the kangaroo's gotta be in the movie, this is how we're doing it. There's no other way. So they get into a big car chase, but what they don't know is that the gremlin from earlier had lined the valley with C4, so Mad Max and his friends escape, but then they almost fall off a cliff, but then they don't. You know how in movies sometimes you'll have a character, or maybe two characters, and they're riding in a car, or maybe on some exotic animals, and then they narrowly escape the people chasing them, but then, right at the last second, they almost go off a cliff, but then someone in a flying machine shows up to help them, and then they free one of the exotic animals from its human shackles and release it into the wild.
No, it's worth it.
Anyway, then Kangaroo Jack comes back with his family and reveals himself to be the Angel of Death, and he finally kills Gary O'Connell. But then, of course, it's revealed that this has all been his dream while he's on his very expensive yacht, and this song plays. It's a very standard early 2000s movie ending, but that is more or less a fully negative criticism, because basically all movies in the early 2000s were terrible. They had this gaudy, flashy aesthetic, like boom, wow, whoa, Daredevil's Spider-Man 3 DVD menu.
Wait a minute! The movie's called Kangaroo Jack. It should end with me. I'm a serious, classically trained actor. I can sing, I can dance, and I can jump out of the way of explosions.
Ow! Oh, yep, no, that's gonna leave a mark.
And I can do impersonations.
Come on, people. Throw me a freaking bone. I have a son. I shall call him Mini-Roo.
Now that should be the way you end a film. Now
And
that
I
should
can
be
do
the way you end a
impersonations.
film with the star. Someone call my agent.
That's all, blokes.
Kangaroo Jack. I spent 4 months working on this video. I'm about to graduate.
So, they used this little piece of footage to create basically a whole fake movie. It's the first thing you see before the movie plays. It's the whole extras menu. It's like they really managed to get a stretchable amount of material into that 1 minute of nonsense, and all the audio clips that come with it.
Yeah, it's me. And I can do impersonations.
They used this half a minute of animation to choreograph a whole dance. They created an audio track where the kangaroo's voice actor commentates the scenes he's in. They insist, even after you know better, that this is the movie that you saw. I won't say it's evil, because I guess it's the job of marketing people to make movies look like they aren't terrible, and this is just a slightly more than typically dishonest way of doing that. Well, what's this secret thing here? Hold on. What is this?
What kind of cryptic message is this?
What is this?
Please never ask me for anything ever again.